Good evening and welcome on in. My name is Trainer Brent. I'm one of the personal trainers here at 125 Live. And tonight I want to sit down and talk about something that has been on my mind for about the past, probably about the past month. In the past month, I have been working on goal setting. And I want to bring a little personal element to this because I think that being able to relate our personal experiences is one of the strongest things that we have as human beings, being able to relate to each other and to say, hey, this is one thing that worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you. And I'm hoping that this will maybe work for you, as this is actually something that a friend and classmate of mine passed to me, and I now hope to pass it on to you. It's going to be a little challenging talking about this because this is not an exercise that I can just show you and explain exactly how it works. It's a little bit more esoteric. I'm not sure if that's quite the right use of that word, but we're going to go with it. I want to talk to you about goal setting in the particular context of 10-3-1-3. So making goals for 10 years down the road, 3 years down the road, 1 year down the road, and 3 months down the road. And if I can just get a little bit more personal with you for a moment, what I've found is that setting goals in that style, for me personally, has really helped because it has given me something to focus on. It has given me more focus in my life, which I think truly has been something that I've really been looking for. And I would really just highly encourage you to sit down, literally write down 10 years, leave a space, 3 years, leave a space, 1 year, leave a space, and 3 months, leave a space. And write down goals. Write down some goals. They can be any goals. Remember to make them specific. So make them specific enough that you can reach them, that you can attain them. So say in the next year, one of the goals I laid out is in the next year, I want to read a book a month. Simple, straightforward, but I tell you what, I have a gigantic list of books that I have been meaning to get to. I've been saying that for so long. And that is kind of just one of the things that drives me bananas, is that I've been saying things like that for so long. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. And you probably can too, with saying, oh, I've been meaning to do this. I've been meaning to get to this. And I get it. It's tough. It's so easy to fall into that trap. And I wish at this point I had some kind of illuminating tip to give you or esoteric words to hand you and say, oh, well, you need to just look at it like this or do it like this. And to be brutally honest, I don't know how I started following through with the goals that I set because I've been struggling with that for a long time. And if you're struggling, you're not alone. But I think at the end of the day, the conclusion I came to is I said, hey, look, I want to move forward, and I felt like I was just stuck in the same place, just spinning my wheels and saying the same thing of, oh, well, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, but never actually getting there, never actually making it there. And truly, honestly, setting those goals helped me because they gave me something to focus on. Now, a couple tips to give you something a little bit more tangible, as opposed to me just rambling, which is kind of what I feel like this is turning into. In addition to setting longer-term goals, set weekly goals. So you've got your 10 years, your 3 years, your 1 year, and your 3 month. And those are good. But set weekly goals as well. So I have a sheet of paper that I printed out. I typed up my 10-3-1-3. And then I have a little notebook that I scribbled down, okay, this is what I want to work on this week. So set your overarching goals, but then break it down into smaller chunks. Break it down into smaller pieces and say, okay, this week, this is what I'd like to do. And with those weekly goals, be as specific as you can, because that's going to help you to break down those larger goals and start making progress towards them. And what I've honestly found, and I hope you find this too if you start working on this, that even if it's something so small or so little as making your bed every morning, that's another one I set. And I tell you what, it's so small, but it makes me feel good when I actually do it because you feel kind of accomplished. You feel like you've already got something done in the day. It's like, okay, at the very least, I got a thing done. I did a thing. And if you can get your brain into that way of thinking, into that mindset, it really does feel good, and it really helps you along the way. I'm not going to say it makes everything better, but it really truly does help. So give it a try. I'd be more than happy to hear your feedback. I would love to see what you think or see what has worked well for you. Please, as human beings, again, I said this already, but we relate to each other's experiences. That is part of what makes us us. So talk about what's worked well for you. Relate your experiences and say, hey, this is what I've been feeling. This is what's worked really well for me, because what works well for me as an individual may not work well for you, but someone else may have something that you see and you go, wow, like, man, I just never thought about it that way. So I hope you didn't mind this little sit-down chat. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, please let me know what you thought. If you have any tips or tricks about making goals, or sticking to goals, or following through with goals, don't be afraid to shout those out. Let us know. Or if you have any questions, say, hey, I've been really trying to work towards these goals, and God, it just feels like I'm pulling teeth. Do you have anything for me? We'll be more than happy to try and field that as best we can. In the meantime, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next round.